Yo, what's up? It's your boy. Just seeing F9. Now, if I was a uppity, stuck-up critic, I would approach the movie this way. Yes, I've just seen Fast 9, the Fast and the Furious series, and this movie was a bunch of black and brown people doing some buffoonery, riding around in CGI cars. The plot was muddled, it was disorganized. The cinematography was terrible. I mean, Tokyo Drift looked better than this film. The dialogue was atrocious. The women, they look withered and weathered down. They look like they've been around the block a while with the leathery skin. CG fires, CG cities of Tokyo. It looked like it was on a soundstage. I was very disappointed in this film. I don't see how people of color keep making films like this and make a lot of money, like a cachet. Whatever. Let's keep it real. As a man of color, I appreciate these movies for that one reason. It's nice to see people who look like me, talk like me, in blockbuster films. We've been trying for years to crack that code as color folks making blockbuster movies. We never get the budget, we never get the scripts, we never get the producers, we never get the directors. Fast and Furious changed all of that. To go into history, I got free tickets to go to a screening of the very first Fast and Furious. I didn't like it. I didn't see part 2 in theaters. I've yet to see Tokyo Drift. Part 4, a coworker conned me into going to see that movie in theaters, and I hated part 4. The soundtrack was horrible. All that reggaeton. Look, I like Latins, I like Mexicans. Leave reggae music alone, you're fucking it up. I hate reggaeton. Part 5, part 6, I've never seen in theaters. Matter of fact, I didn't see part 5 or 6 until after I seen part 7. The whole Paul Walker thing was a horrible, terrible tragedy. It made me go see part 7 in theaters, and I had a good time. Then I went back and seen part 5 and 6 on video, DVD. Now I did go see part 8 for one reason. It had a black director, and it was somewhat disappointing. And now I seen this one because now I'm kind of like hooked on these terrible films. Went to the theater tonight with the fam. It was packed. This is the first time all year I went to the theater and it was packed. That says a lot about this franchise. Though these movies are horrible, though they are stupid, there's some kind of charm about these films that bring people out. I'm looking around me. Black, brown, yellow, red, you name it. Everybody came out. And it was a guy next to me. He must have been in the military or something. He had a service dog. I sat next to a dog tonight in the theater, and this motherfucker was more quiet than his owner. That motherfucker kept talking. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Why don't you bite your master, motherfucker? Shit. But this movie's horrible. But I had fun. It was horrible fun. This plot was, buddy, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. And the bad thing about it, they had CGI cars in this movie. I'm not even going to talk about the plot. It's not worth it. Go to another channel. If you want to hear all the analytics about the plot and all the people, and who cares? Yeah, Justin Lin directed this movie. Everybody's back. People are back from the dead. It's not a spoiler. Everybody knows they went to space. That was spoiled last month when the movie came out overseas. We know that. We all know that Han, whatever his name is back from the dead. You've seen the previews and the trailers. You cannot spoil this film. You know all the 2 hot spots that happen. Space, Han is alive. Had a brand new, beautiful Asian girl in this movie. She was a delight, but I'm trying to think back. Was it part 4 where everybody started fighting? Because Rodriguez and the other chick in the movie, when did they start fighting and beating up motherfuckers? Like, I mean, was it part 4 or 5 when they did all of a sudden new karate and beating? I mean, Dom's little sister is beating up grown ass men now. Everybody fights. I just, And the opening of the movie was pretty decent. It was trying to have a little backstory. I almost bought it, but it got muddled later on and it was terrible. But when they're over there in the jungle, why does Dominic Toretto have a Dodge Charger in the jungle? Don't get me wrong, I'm an owner of a Dodge Charger. I like it. I'm like, oh, this is dope. No, this is dumb. I was looking at the film. He's in the Dodge Charger. Everybody got these, four-wheel vehicles that can handle that kind of terrain. My girl Michelle's on a motorcycle, a dirt bike at least. This motherfucker's in a Dodge Charger. I'm like, that don't make no sense. Hit a rock or a pebble, he might flip over. Yeah. And lots of CGI cars. We didn't have to have CGI cars. You had scenes where there was CGI fire on the ground. John Cena is a terrible actor. He had a little bit of charm, but he's wooden. He was horrible in this movie. And that man got some big ass nostrils. There's a scene where he's sitting back and he's looking like this. I'm like, this man got some big ass nostrils. I never noticed that before. Charlize Theron is great in the movie. She walked through this movie, but she is so good. Even when she's not even trying, she just act with her eyes. The way she looks into the camera, I'm like melting. I'm like, this woman is fine. She ages so gracefully. She's been fine since birth. Damn. Kurt Russell shows up in this movie. Helen Mirren shows up in this movie. Everybody has it's a movie with a bunch of cameos, and it's all over the world. They go everywhere, from Tokyo to London to places I can't even pronounce. This movie is all over the place, and the plot, yeah, it's done. His little brother grows up to be a spy, and you seen it coming. They're gonna get into a fight and everything, and later on, the bad guy gonna turn on him, and he's become friends with his brother, and they're gonna fight crime together at the very end. And this big old buff motherfucker's getting inside of a little orange car and driving. He looks dumb. This big muscle-bound wrestler driving little sports cars. Aesthetically, it didn't look right. It looked dumb. Vin Diesel is great. He got that look when he's looking at the camera like, why you driving? He's great. I mean, this is his role that he was born to play. Michelle Rodriguez, she wasn't that good in this movie. It's like she looks a little different now. Maybe because she's getting older, but she had to look like her eyes look lazy. And maybe she's starting to show her age, but she can barely walk in the film. But later on in the film, she's doing karate and shit. And speaking of karate, every fight scene was filmed way up close, and the camera was moving. It was horrible how they filmed the fighting in the scene. They did a bad job. You can tell these people are getting older. They can't do the things they were doing in them earlier films, and it looked bad. Damn. And the soundtrack is terrible. It reminded me of Fast 4 with all that reggaeton music. I told you, Mexicans, leave that reggae shit alone. Leave that to the Jamaicans. You are fucking that music up. Oh, the soundtrack was bad. Little kid was cute. Toretto's little son was cute. Little long curly hair. The backstory with the dad, not buying it. The subplots, you count them. It's about 17 subplots. They're all dumb. Cardi B shows up in this movie. That was really stupid. Tyrese and Ludacris, my favorite two black brothers in the movie. They had me laughing. It's stupid. I guess people from Tokyo Drift showed up. The country boy, something wrong with him. See, he has like a cut on the back of his head, like he had some kind of surgery because his head and neck is really small. I'm not making fun of him. You can tell he had a serious surgery on his head. You can see the surgery line right here. I felt kind of bad for him. It's terrible, but it was fun. I had a good time. I was laughing. And believe it or not, it took a film that's this bad to bring out the audience. First time I've seen a packed house ever, all year, when this movie came out. So, much as these movies are stupid and you might not like them, Every single time they bring in the money. And after a pandemic, hell, Godzilla didn't do it, and King Kong. Other blockbusters tried, couldn't do it. Tenet. Recently you had Hitman's Wife and some other films. Couldn't do it. Disney could even do it with Cruella. They struggling. No, Universal's Fast and Furious, people of brown and black descent owning the screen and bringing that money. So I'm happy for that reason. As far as technical skills and everything, this movie is a lot of bad CGI. The cars are always cool in these movies. That magnet shit, the giant magnet thing, it was cool at first. They wore that shit into the ground before I was like, then you start paying attention. Well, the magnet works this way. How come it's not working that way? You know, when they turn the magnet on, it's pulling cars, and later on, it's pulling down lights and poles. How come they didn't pull down lights and poles earlier? How come people are not getting sucked? It didn't make any sense. But gravity, logic, throw that shit out the window. The whole space stuff was funny. I enjoyed it. Some bad CGI. That car in space. I thought I was watching a 1980s space movie. I thought I was watching Buck Rogers. Yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad. But I had fun. If you do see this film, see it in theaters, it felt like old times when before the pandemic hit. So I had a good time. With that, I want to say thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell all your friends, and leave your comments down low. Peace, and I'll be back. And just remember, it's just my point of view.